All right, so we're doing another Bacon Show review. You ready for this?
Fuck yeah, I am always ready, motherfucker.
Oh shit, I'm ready too. Hold on, I got a little bit of
Hey,
Let's have some dessert.
Let's fucking do this.
So dumb.
Hey, those in the know, they'll know. They'll get it. It's fucking funny. We're fucking funny.
We're definitely fun. We're something. We're something. Welcome to Evilive, the live media commentary show that answers a question: what kind of a monster chooses a treacle for a technical challenge?
Dude.
Subscribing to the channel because today we are reviewing the Great British Baking Show. Totally said that normally.
Yeah, no, that's not pronounced.
Episode 7, Desserts.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting this week to be so goddamn intense.
No, dude.
It's fucking desserts. Everybody makes desserts. Like, it's a baking show. That should be ingrained in everybody's DNA. And holy shit. This was some shit.
This is a rough one, too. I mean, just from the beginning, all of the requests of desserts were not desserts that I would have ever eaten in my entire life. And I've never eaten any of them. Just weird choices for challenges. And each challenge fucked him up a little bit more.
Dude, yeah, man. Like, it was so funny. Alison calling out Tasha during the technical. Every fucking time, always a sigh. It's like I feel like some of these people are just so beaten down and ready to leave. They don't want to, but they're fucking ready.
As we get to the end, the pressure of a coal makes a diamond, right? So we're seeing these contestants arguably in the truest version of themselves that we've been able to get. They start the competition. They're like, ooh, I'm on a reality show. I've got to sort of put my face, this is how I'm going to be seen to the public. And they get down, they get punched in the face a couple times, kicked in the pussy. And you're just like, oh, fuck, this is life now. Oh my gosh, this sucks. That's what we got this week. Everyone was just beaten, bruised, like winded. Everyone was fucked up. And I tell you what, I came out on this one respecting fucking Maddie more than I ever have.
Yeah.
He ate so much shit, but he put up stuff that was beautiful.
Yeah, he really did.
I was so shocked by Maddie's performance. I was so ready for him to just get knocked the fuck out and like move on, but his ink is dope. He actually has a great fucking attitude.
That's my problem with him. It's like I don't trust people with good tattoos.
That's why you and I get along. You know my shit.
Because I've done bad tattoos on you, so it's like I can trust you.
I've had many a bad tattoo before I ever met you, to be fair. But okay, sure, I like the ink, but whatever. This was rough. This was a really, really tough one. We started out tough with this ridiculous creme caramel dessert, which virtually all of them looked good, but none of them tasted great.
Yeah, it's like really the only person that got it properly kind of was Dan.
And of all the ones that get
collapsed. What's that?
And of all the ones to get it, he came in with this Thai curry thing.
Dude, honestly, man, initially it's like, yeah, that's really go with that. And that's like, well, no, I get like it's a green curry. Green curries are sweet. Traditionally, you do it with like, a coconut based thing. And it's like, all right, I can get behind that. I'm legit curious. If I thought I had the patience for it, I'd totally try to make it.
I would have loved to have tried it just to see, because even Paul was super skeptical. He's like, don't call it curry. Is there curry in it? No. All right. Then shut the fuck up. Like, this is maybe Thai inspired because of ingredients, but he ended up making something that was delicious. And it just blew my goddamn mind. And you couple that, which was a gamble, with Maddie's, in my opinion, easy home run, chai. Yeah. And Paul acted like it was like shit. He was like, why would you put poop in a fucking creme caramel? That doesn't make sense. And he's like, no, it's chai. What? You've never heard of chai before? Why all this hate on chai? Chai's delicious.
Well, and that was the funny thing. Like, they were like, well, why chai? Well, I don't know. I'm usually a coffee drinker. It's like, dude, don't justify it. Just say why not and tell him to fuck himself.
Yeah. Chai's fucking delicious.
Yeah,
If you've never
chai-
had chai, try it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Like there's no human on this planet that I would ever trust with anything that has tried chai and been like, ooh, that's not for me.
Yeah.
All right, well, fuck off. You're not a human then. Get out.
Yeah,
You don't
there's
like
something
delicious
wrong with
things.
Now, I can understand if it's a very potent chai, because like there's a very tight line to walk, or tight rope to walk, whatever. That it goes from being wonderful and just aromatic, and then just a cut hair over. It's drinking potpourri.
Yeah.
So I can understand that if it's overpowering, but yeah, I mean, his sounded wonderful.
Yeah, and the fact that
It didn't look good at all.
well, I have to be honest. Like, I was surprised at how good some of these looked with as much shit everyone was talking about how difficult this was and how it wasn't going to work and how delicate and difficult and, challenging and everything. I was just like, and then they tip the first one over and you're just like, that looks delicious. I would try that. Like, none of them, after seeing them being eaten, I don't think I'd do a hard pass on most of them. But like I really thought they looked beautiful. Like some of them did amazing work. I was a little bit pissed about Tasha's because she had like this layer of just honey and then a layer of what looked like jam. And then she put her shit on top of that.
Yeah,
That's
I thought
fucking
that was
lazy and weird.
Yeah, that was it didn't even look good. Like it's one thing if you're plating it like there's something underneath it and then you're putting that on top.
Yeah.
So that's like the final layer that you're going in, but it was just a trough of slop.
Perfect.
And I'm glad they fucking called her out on it too. Because it's like the thing is the top that she put on, like that honeycomb and the little bee, like that looked beautiful. That looked delicate. It looked wonderful. But yeah, it's like there was a trough of shit, and then she's like, I'll just put it on top.
Right.
An interesting choice, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Christie's was a travesty. If it's a dessert draped in caramel and you can only taste the orange, you fucked up. Like,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
fucked up.
Because that's such a potent, strong flavor.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, yeah, so is citrus, but yeah, how do you cover that up?
Like Prue couldn't even taste the caramel at all that was draped over the goddamn. It was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta give my hats off to Dan. It still doesn't sound delicious to me at all. I'd like to try it just to be like, yeah, I tried it, but apparently it was awesome. So fucking hats off to him.
And texturally, like that's the thing. Like usually with stuff, you can't really tell if it's dry or if it's underdone. But with this, like his looked like a fucking proper cream. Like it was nice and smooth going in.
Yeah.
Everybody else's, it looked like formed scrambled eggs, which essentially that's what it was.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
with varying degrees of yolk. But yeah. Mm-hmm. And no one like knocked it out of the park. We got to be clear about that. I mean, some did better than others, but no one like fucking nailed the goddamn challenge to perfection.
Like with Dan's, the only thing that he did wrong, and it's one of those things where, I mean, it's you cook it so long, either it's going to be jiggly and fall apart, or it's going to be a puck of scrambled eggs, and his was just under perfect. So
it was like
it's disappointing.
There's like a 15-second window between perfect and over or under, and you just have to hit that 15 seconds perfectly, and you just can't do it in a tent. You can't fucking do it. They tried it at home and it worked out perfect. They did it in the tent. It gets shit all day, every day. Like that's just a reoccurring theme. The tent is the miscellaneous modifier. I've turned the corner on Maddie, and I've turned the corner on Josh. Josh is like a fake human, but as soon as Alison called him out, it's like, you're always doing everything as a nod to your nan. I wanted to jump into the TV and give Josh a hug. I don't know why. I just like, I'm endeared to the fact that he first of all, he has a garden filled with butterflies and strawberries. That's where I want to live my life.
Like, yeah, straight up.
Take me there, please. That sounds delightful. Like, I want to fucking be there. And anyone who cultivates that type of an environment has got to be a good human. Mm-hmm. Like, for whatever reason, now I thought he was like sort of plastic and fake and sort of shit in the bed half the time and doing great the other half. I think he's going to win. I really think he's gonna win.
Especially with how strong he's coming into the show now.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing, like with him and Maddie, they were just kind of like this the whole fucking time. But ever since he won, like he has really brought himself out quite a bit.
Yeah. He got that early handshake. I personally think he's owed a couple handshakes with the reactions that he got from the judges, but
Yeah.
what are you going to do? I mean, he's done some great bakes, and dude, I was shocked that Dan got it. I would have given it
Same.
to Josh.
Right, especially because like the showstopper.
Yeah.
Like his was perfect.
Yeah.
In every way, like visually and the interior. Yeah, I was pretty surprised that he didn't get it.
Yeah, I've written a 12-page essay on Dan's Blue Dot dessert that I need to fucking share with the world to all of your dismay, but I have to get it out. So we'll get there in a minute, but I'm genuinely hurt about it. But let's talk about the rest of the signatures here. So the chai cream to me sounded delicious. The mini Wadalappin of Saku's.
I've no clue what that is, but I'm interested.
Even
though they couldn't taste it.
Yeah. You had to take it out hot or soft when it's still hot because it's going to set too hard. Like what? In the comment about it having to be chiseled out by Paul, just because of that sort of narrow window of it cooling and getting it out. I don't know. And then just her heartbreak on it not being the perfect consistency, what she was looking for, and she was doing it for a mom. And I don't know. There's something genuine about Saku that I sort of like get pulled into emotionally. And of course, with the outcome and everything. But like, this was a tough week for Saku fans.
Yeah, definitely. Honestly, with the signature, man, it was almost like she had checked out.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh yeah, we can't taste anything in this. And it's fucking Saku, somebody that is Sri Lankan, so she uses a lot of spice and everything. And that's the thing that they've always told her. It's like, that's your pride, that's what you should be. You should be pushing forth those flavors because that's your strong suit. And this was just like meh.
Brutal. And
watching her face was just, I was like, oh man, we're losing Saku the character, and now it's just Saku interior.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just the fact that she's shockingly making fun of her son on national fucking TV that's going to go global. Like, he's never going to live that down. Like, she's mocking him by being this busy fucking like weird bee. She's so full of joy and happy. Even when she's upset, she pulls it to the joy side and says, what are you gonna, like, I have to fucking giggle about it. Like, her and Maddie especially. Maddie in this episode really shined with that aspect of it. Like, what can you do? I shit the bed. You gotta laugh at it. And you're like, yeah, that's how life works. You either allow your failures to devastate you, or you learn from them and you shrug them off. Those are your choices. And I love that he is learning from them and shrugging them off. And Saku's acceptance and sort of, even when she's defeated, finding a thread of humor and joy to sort of share with an audience. I want, once a week, 15 minutes of Saku doing a live stream. That's all I want for the rest of my life. I would find so much joy in that. Yeah,
I agree.
I'd pay her money to do it. I just want to like have more of Saku in my life. She's great.
Yeah,
I love that woman. Yeah, and then of course Tasha's plum and ginger. Oh wait, hold on. The big honey rosemary creme one. I was just like, meh. It was just fucking gross.
Well, the thing is, it sounds so much better than it turned out.
Yeah.
Which is so disappointing because you throw the three of those flavors together with caramel and something creamy like that. Just, I mean, my mouth is watering right now thinking about it. Like, that sounds amazing. But yeah, it was just sort of okay.
Just seeing it was just so gross. Like, it looked like slop. It was so fucking vile. And then we get, like, this is middling at best in our signature. We go to the technical and
ooh, Jesus Christ, was that just a shit show?
The most challenging.
Here's the thing, and I will totally understand. So when it comes to any sort of steamed anything for the leavening, when it's a complex one, or anytime there's a Bain Marie, or anytime there's the two, which actually that was one thing I wanted to bring up from the very beginning of the fucking show. They constantly use proper French terminology for different methods, different styles of desserts. The fuck you calling a Bain Marie a water bath for? Like, it is a Bain Marie because it's the bane of every baker's existence. Like, it's seeing them do Bain Maries but not putting in boiling water. It's like, yeah, I fucked up that way before too. At least I didn't do it on international television.
Yeah.
But god damn, yeah, this week I felt everything they were doing, because it's like, yeah, man, rough.
It was like a horror show, but every kill was genital oriented. It was like just every time they cut to someone lifting it over, and you were just like, just the horror of the reality. God. And then it cuts to someone else, and you're like, ah! It's just that much worse, and it keeps going, and it keeps going. You're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this was the worst technical challenge ever. Like, I've been trying to think all day since I watched it this morning. Has there been one that's been this disastrous? No. And I couldn't think of one, because everybody fucked up. Tasha only won because she fucked up less.
Yeah.
Like, hers was the only one they were able to actually like eat. I mean, and who was it? It was Saku that like fucked up the sauce.
Yeah, no. Well, Maddie had the super hard sauce.
Oh yeah, it was Maddie. Okay, that's right. Because
they're like stabbing at it and shit.
Yeah, it's like, this is a pouring sauce. I don't know if the spoon's gonna go in.
Is this rock candy? What?
Yeah, this was terrible. And the thing is, like, that sounds amazing. Like, the idea of a steamed pudding that's orange and ginger, like, that sounds magic.
Yeah, I would totally eat that.
I want that so bad. But after watching that, it was just like, I don't know if I could ever bring myself to try that.
Yeah, are they like unicorns? They can only be made on certain times of the year when the moon is at a certain phase, and like they just come out for a moment, and you have like a 20-minute window to make it. Other than that, you're fucked. Mm-hmm. They seem like these magical things now, because we were presented with amazing ones of Paul and Prue, and Prue was like, I can't wait to eat 6 more because I love this. It's so good. And I'm just like, yeah, I want to try that too. And then what we saw was just like,
yeah, it was devastating.
Crazy. Like, so everyone shit the bed. Tasha did the best. Here's what I don't understand about that. There were wildly underbaked bakes on that technical, because they were literally raw, still batter when they sort of uplifted them. She had the least amount of time that was called out. Like, when everyone was doing that little call out time, like, I'm going to do it for 30 minutes. Someone was like, I'll do it for 25. She said 20. The least amount of time, and it was cooked. How the fuck does that work?
The only thing I can think is just they don't give you an idea of temperature, and she was just smart enough to do it higher.
Okay.
Because, I mean, ultimately, that is something that you'd want to do. You wouldn't necessarily want it to be a long, drawn-out bake with something like that, because you got to get the leavening in there, and the leavening only comes from the steam.
Huh.
So you'd want that shit hot so it starts steaming a lot faster.
Yeah, I'm ignorant to that whole thing, so that's interesting to me. Huh, okay.
It's fucking complex. Like, this shit, it's no fucking joke.
And Prue made a comment that seemed like Paul was giving them less time than they required.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the way they presented it all together, I feel like he fucked them on purpose.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, fuck, we're almost at the semifinals.
Yeah, but you don't at least grease them up a little before you dive in. Yeah, right?
No, just a fully dry screwdriver right in the gears.
Okay. He certainly did it, and it showed, and everyone felt it afterward. Mm-hmm. So much so that when they were talking before the showstopper even came into play, they were talking about, who's in trouble, who's okay, and they're just like, we have to ignore that last challenge. Across the board, let's just erase it, because it was everyone shit the bed. If it's that fucking hard, you should not have it. Mm-hmm. Give them a little more time. Give them a fighting chance. Like, it's like he was trying to pull his dick out and put it on the table and like, look, I can do this and you can't. Like, okay, congratulations, Dick. You're a professional. These are fucking home cooks trying to make a fucking show. Right. Don't make them look like assholes, maybe, you know?
Well, and it's so crazy, too, because if you look at the first fucking episode versus this one, polar opposites. Like, the technical, they were nitpicking the smallest, stupidest shit because everybody did it perfectly.
Yeah, those cakes.
And this, God, it was so bad.
Yeah. It's just a fucking nightmare. It's a straight up nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move to the showstoppers, because there was some nightmares here, and there was some surprises for me here. And Maddie was one of my surprises.
Yeah.
His execution of his bake inside the meringue was garbage. He's been struggling this whole fucking episode, however long it takes him to film it. He was fighting with his caramel at first, then he was fighting with his desserts and everything. Everything he was just shitting the bed, barely eking it by on. Yeah. And I thought this one, he was going to just totally show something that was garbage. But his flower design on the outside of his meringue that did hold looked beautiful. It was his interior bake that he shit the bed on.
Yeah.
And so I was struggling with him because I had sort of turned this corner on him during this episode, being like, all right, you know what? I want to be Team Maddie for a second. And he just didn't quite bring it, but he still was fighting the whole time. And I don't know. I really loved his bake a lot. Just maybe it was just the flowers, maybe it was the arrangement, maybe I don't know what it was, but I loved his. Christie's croquembouche meringue bomb.
Man, that was rough.
It was ugly as fuck too.
See, it's like on the outside it looked okay.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was like this is really pretty. It looks really light, and it's a lot of meringue. Like, she met the challenge. Then that top comes off, and what the fuck happened here? Yeah. Did you take your dessert, put it in there, and then go, because that's what it fucking. She did a fucking
cocktail with it.
And that's the thing with meringues. Like, you have to be fucking careful. Like, they even talked about it in the show. You cannot get any moisture on it, because that is just going to turn it into glue. Yeah. And she just dumped everything in there. It's like, what the fuck?
It didn't look good at all. I was really, really disappointed. I didn't think her outside looked bad. I liked the spikiness. It kind of reminded me of like Super Mario Brothers, like the big bad guy. I don't know, Bomber or something like that. But for whatever reason, I was like, okay.
I can see it. It's like a tie-dyed Koopa.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take it. That's cool. Dan, I want to pull out my essay. My multi-page essay. I have an emotional connection with Pale Blue Dot. Carl Sagan's, he had to fight to get that photo taken from NASA. No one wanted him to take it. He approached science in an emotional way, which is where the phrase Pale Blue Dot comes from, solely because of him reflecting on this, for the first time ever, Earth in a vacuum of black space. And the idea of connection that it inspires without ever even considering these manufactured lines that we have around our countries separating us, the bullshit reasons why we separate us as a species. We try to pretend like we're somehow better on this ball that's been hurling through space for billions of years, and we're literally a flash in the pan of our existence on it. It puts everything to perspective. So Dan takes this concept that is just awesome to the fullness of the word.
Yeah.
And he does a spiral green and blue. You choose what shapes you make on the outside. Just fake a goddamn Earth. If the concept is Pale Blue Dot, just do blobby fucking continents.
Yeah, that's the thing. It takes just as much effort.
Yeah.
And especially because he takes a knife and just spreads it out as soon as he gets it all laid out. And it's like, what the fuck is that?
So angry. For irrational anger, I understand. But I was angry.
No, like, that's understandable.
How the fuck do you fuck this up? You're taking a beautiful concept that is like, fuck. And then you just do a swirl? Fuck you.
Right. And it's like, it's a perfectly even green line around, and it's like, what fucking planet are you living on?
My wife and I was like, that's Saturn or Jupiter, right? I was like, yeah, that's not Earth. There's no
That's
Earth there.
honestly what I was thinking. It's like colors are wrong, but that's fucking
Yeah.
Jupiter.
It's just so stupid because who really gives a fuck? But
Yeah.
like it was such a beautiful concept, and he chose to emulate it. No one told him to, so this is on him.
Yeah.
Fuck you for fucking that up. Like that seems like a fucking easy hit and run. And the worst part about it is like I think he did a pretty good job with his dessert on the inside too. He did like this layer on, like a trifle or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like delicious, amazing. The concept of the core of the earth being different molten layers and solids and stuff. Awesome.
Yeah, I did love that. Like that's the thing. That could have been so much better though.
Yeah. And it wouldn't have taken any more effort too.
No,
Oh man.
the exact same amount of effort.
Yeah. I'm a
terrible
nerd though, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Josh, this is where I fell in love with Josh.
That was pretty fucking good.
Like him, dude. His game set and match one, like he did this beautiful dessert inside, and then surrounded it with this sort of almost like what are those eggs? There's like this
The Fabergé eggs.
Yeah, it reminded me of like a fucking Fabergé egg or something. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
This guy is gonna win this goddamn competition, 100%.
I really think it's gonna happen. Like that's what it's starting to look like. And the thing is too, like even the detail as soon as you take the top off, it's just like you don't even have to explain what it is.
Yeah.
Like it was just complete perfect execution.
Yeah, how did he not get a handshake off that?
I don't fucking know.
Like I need to understand this handshake sort of regulation because I don't understand it at all.
Yeah, the thing is, like, his looked like he had an extra hour compared to everybody else. Like the amount of effort and detail he put into his. These people did the same thing in the same time and didn't come anywhere near it. I mean, Saku's fuck, it could have been there. It could have been there, but that was rough.
She did wonderful things with the bees, but her base was garbage. Just hot garbage. And if you don't have like a fully enclosed thing, then you just don't have the challenge, and you can't come back from that. Hers was rough because she didn't have enough what were they, profiterole rolls? Like what was her interior? There was like 6 of them. There was like just a couple little fucking things inside there, which is, it didn't feel substantive. Fuck me.
Substantial enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say substantive enough, or it didn't feel like she put the effort in that everyone else did. You know, the fully enclosed meringue shell and everything.
Well, and especially once like they bit into it, it's like there's not really much flavor here.
That's
it's like
brutal.
Fuck.
Brutal
again.
And she knew it too. You just saw it on her face, and then she does that line of, you know, everyone wants to, I want to make my mom proud. This is her recipe, and your heart melts because you know you didn't hit the mark, and it's not your fault. It's not your mom's fault. It's just the fucking way the cookies crumbled this time. You know, it's just, it happens. It's brutal.
Definitely.
Tasha's plum and ginger meringue bomb. This is one I don't actually remember.
You know, I don't either. I remember her making it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it looked like.
I'm like trying to piece it together. Oh, hers was the one that rolled over. It still had the profiteroles inside.
Yeah.
Little puffs, but she was having a hard time keeping it up. Yeah, hers was like Saku times 2 as far as execution of the structure and everything. Like she actually did the challenge, provided enough interior to make it work, but they said it just wasn't good enough. Which I think is a pretty huge statement at this late in this game.
Yeah.
That you can't remember the bake.
Yeah.
It should be memorable. Good or bad.
And it's so crazy too, because it's like the people that we were shitting on, like they're fucking great. Like Maddie's was beautiful.
Yeah.
Like it was
100%.
gorgeously detailed and everything. And I don't remember the inside, but I remember
it was just like all slopped together.
Okay, that's right.
It was almost like Josh's, except it just didn't hold.
That's right.
And then fucking Paul Hollywood just like cut right into the whole thing, like making it spill out even more, so it looked even worse than it normally was. I don't know. I
mean, that's the way to do it, I guess.
I came on Matt's side this time, and I'm devastated. He just didn't do good, which is crazy because that tells you you're this sort of like this pinnacle of the competition where you're no longer eliminating bad cooks or bakers. You're eliminating great bakers. And so you're just like, how the fuck does someone like Maddie make it through who has done so badly but not bad enough to be eliminated, come out on top of someone like Saku, who has been doing amazing until recently? Like, it's the testament that it's not just the skill of the baker, it is very much the stress of the competition and how you can handle it.
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Crazy. We see it every season.
Yeah.
It's always like the midway point or towards the finale, like the quarterfinals, semifinals, whatever. People just snap.
Yep. Yeah. I thought Noel was on point this particular episode.
Definitely.
I thought he was hilarious in every single interaction. His idea of like Paul coming in his little jumper asking for a fucking treacle pudding.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was the tiger and Prue was the fucking, I don't know what you call those people. Fucking the tiger keeper. I don't know what you call them.
That sounds about right.
There's a name. I don't know what it is. Like all of the jokes were great. Even Alison made a joke about her liking quickies, and it like cut right before Noel got it. He was like, "Wait, what?" And then it cut the screen.
Like that's so. It's like sometimes you wonder if they're editing it to kind of cut off the joke, or if they're editing it so abruptly so that it sinks in and it's that much fucking funnier because there's no reaction.
Yeah.
So it's almost like you're in on the joke.
And Noel seems like he's like haunting Christy. She's just like, leave me alone. Like, get the fuck out of here. And he's just constantly, whoa, like hovering. Oh, it's so great.
Yeah, no. It's one of those things. It's like you can't let somebody know something bothers you because then that's all they're going to do. And she plays into it. So, of course, you're going to feed off of that kind of energy.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do not envy the judges for having to make the choices that they made, but I do think they're fair choices. I would have chosen Josh over Dan, but I still think Dan knocked it out of the park. He did really, really well. What do you think it was that made them choose Dan over Josh for the Star Baker?
It's the signature. The signature, he had the closest thing to what they were asking than anybody else. Because everybody else, regardless of flavors, it was the textures that were off. And you could clearly tell just from the side profile of seeing all the bubbles, because that's when you know that they're starting to get too much steam. And those eggs, instead of becoming a nice, silky, smooth texture, consistency, they're scrambling. And that's what happened. Yeah. So I think that's why he got it versus Josh, because Josh should have. Definitely.
I wish I could taste these goddamn bakes. I'm really curious what Dan's tasted like. I just there's something in me that I gotta know what that tastes like. And the fact that Noel mentioned after the judging, he was like, "You invented a new dessert." Like, I want to taste the new dessert.
Right? Ah! Yeah, no, that's like, you can't keep that kind of shit away from somebody like me. I'm a fat kid.
Put it in my belly. Yeah. And I just want to taste all of Josh's homegrown goodness. And
man.
For some reason, I want to know about his grandma. What inspired him so much to emulate her? Like, what was it about her? I love those types of human connection stories. Like, you wouldn't necessarily, maybe it's like a brother or a father or a mom or something, but no, it's your grandma. Okay, well, what about your grandma connected with you so much more than anyone else? I want to hear that story. I love just the human experience and how we literally, going back to that pellicle dot, we're hurling through space on the same rock, and yet we experience things so differently simply because of genetic makeup, region of birth, fucking all sorts of random things that have nothing to do with anything. They're just like, oh, this just happens to be how you came about, where you came about, and you had such an interesting, different experience than me. Let me hear about it. Oh, I love that stuff.
Definitely.
Okay, so Star Baker, we already we're here with Dan. We already mentioned Saku got eliminated. Did you think anyone could have been eliminated other than Saku this episode?
No. Yeah. Like I said, from the get-go, it's like you could tell that she thought she was going home this week. Yeah. And as soon as that shit gets in your head, you manifest it. And she did, unfortunately.
Yeah. God, she's such a...
Like, and the biggest thing that was so disheartening was at the very end. They called the final minute, and her bottom shell of the meringue bomb broke. It's like, she's fucked. She's going home. And it's like she even knew at that point. She's like, I guess I'm done.
Yeah. Literally
so disappointing.
Putting the last nail in the coffin and not realizing that her name's on the side of it. Just brutal.
Yeah.
And it's worse because, we already mentioned that the fact that these are all good bakers that are going to be going home in these, the last 2 episodes, and then moving forward, it's just great bakers. But it is a competition, and just because you're entertaining doesn't mean you're going to be, making out every single week. And it really is down to just week by week at this point. It's not until the last episode they sort of cumulative add up, possibilities of quality. But
yeah,
you have one bad week. Like, you got a splinter in your toe and it's bugging you, you're going home because of it. Like, that's how fucking slim these margins are. It's just brutal because she's so dope. And I, sort of Maddie, Saku, and Tasha were at the bottom. Tasha did not shit the bed anywhere close to everyone else that's sort of at the bottom that I mentioned. But I just don't think she's bringing it enough. I was really disappointed in her bakes this particular episode, especially her signature. I just thought it was terrible. And the fact that the week before she didn't do well, and the fact the week before she shit out on, and the fact, it's just like for a long time she hasn't been doing well. Yeah. Maddie, I seem like, has been starting to try to rise, but he just can't maintain it, and Sokka's just going down. So,
yeah,
I don't know. I think it was a fair elimination, but I just wish I want more time with her.
Yeah, I agree. I want to like put somebody else under the bus, but it was her. Like, there wasn't really. I mean, of course, they had talked about, it could be between so and so and so and so. There was no question who was going home this week.
Yeah. Was there a bake that stood out to you that just your favorite bake of this episode? You're like, I want to try that.
I mean, other than Dan's caramel, like, I loved Josh's meringue bomb. Like, that cake inside looked fucking beautiful, and
it really was.
Like, I wanted that so bad. Like, I could just look at it and understand what the textures were of that. Yeah. And there's nothing better than fresh right out of the garden strawberries. Yeah. Like, it's always one of those things like, oh, you haven't had it until you've had it. No, that is straight the fuck up. You go get the nicest, juiciest strawberries at any fucking grocery store, and you put that up against a fresh strawberry that you pulled out of the ground. It's miles apart difference. So just knowing that all of those pieces on there, those are fresh from his garden, it's like, fuck, I bet that's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. God. So I grew up with a friend who his dad was, when I was a kid, was the mayor of Sandy, Utah. And that's inconsequential. I don't know. I brought it up, but just to sort of place him as a human, I guess. His dad was like infatuated with the idea of growing a garden in his backyard, even though he was terrible at it. But they did have a bunch of strawberries that were just persistent despite his dad's best efforts to kill
that's
them.
The thing. Strawberries, easiest fucking thing in the world to grow.
Yeah, they keep coming back. As long as you don't literally kill them, like intentionally, you should be okay. They were just amazing. You just go in the backyard, and we would like fuck around with what other stupid games we were playing, but then we'd always go to the fucking strawberries and pick them off, because it's a weird thing to sort of mention as if it's something special, because it seems like it is what humans have been doing for all of existence once we learned agriculture. Going to a plant that you grew, picking it off, and eating it. There's something special about that. But we happen to live in a time when that's not the normal experience.
And that's the insane thing.
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine a time ever, like, not having at least one thing that I'm growing in my backyard that is edible.
Yeah.
Like, it just blows my mind that there's people that don't garden at all. I mean, I get it. It can be a very labor-intense hobby, but still, it's just something that's so primal, and so like it ties you together with history as well as the earth. And yeah, just the idea of not being able to do that is
The
insane.
sense of satisfaction, the connection you
Mm-hmm.
get with another living entity, realizing that
Yeah.
plants are living entities like you
Oh yeah.
that have needs. I mean, it opens up a whole world. Plus, if you happen to have any kids or, kids that come over, like neighborhood kids or something, you get to share with them that same
Mm-hmm.
concept, which then they take on. Instead of just thinking as food as something that you buy at a fast food drive-in or
Mm-hmm.
something that's just on a store shelf, like you actually know where it comes from. You know what it takes to grow it, to put into it, and you know what it actually means to harvest what you've grown.
Oh
Like
yeah.
those are just amazing. And I don't know. I don't even know what got us off on this rant, but that strawberry, Josh's strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta try that fucking cake. That looked amazing.
Yeah, man, it,
Like
it,
that,
it
dude.
was beautiful.
I've totally turned the corner on Josh, like 100%.
Same. It's so funny too because like I never would have thought at the beginning of the show. Well, I guess not necessarily the beginning of the show, but like 2 or 3 episodes in, that I would start to like Maddie and Josh. But here I am.
For real.
Like I do like them now.
Yeah, yeah. Dan, I'm less sure of. I
Dan,
started out
he's-
coming in hard for Dan, but now he's like, I don't know. His hair's getting shorter and thinner, and it's only been like 4 weeks.
Yeah, he's
7 weeks.
he's a character. That's for damn sure.
This dude has aged in the time we've been watching this. Like for real. And I love the final cap of this episode. He calls his wife to tell
And
her
she
that he
doesn't
got Star Picker, and bitch doesn't pick up the phone.
Oh my god, that was so fucking great because that's never happened either.
Never. And you would know that is the time that they're doing it because
Yeah.
they're off doing it. Like, they're
Right.
there. If they're calling you, they clearly have something to say, and you're just like, fuck you, I'm fucking your neighbor. Like,
So goddamn fun. That's literally the only thing that could be happening.
right? She's
No,
definitely
either
like-
that or she's dead. Other than that, no good excuse to not answer the phone.
That's where he goes, Thai spices. It was like some sort of organ he harvested from her dead body. He's a serial killer we've already established, so.
Mhm.
Okay.
I believe it.
He's trying to, like, play off for later when he's charged for murder of his own wife. I tried to call her. Why would I try to call her on national TV if I knew she was dead? Yeah, no. This is a alibi for sure.
Right. Yeah, it's straight up. Oh my god. Have you ever fuck, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. I gotta look this up. I know we're recording and this is live, but let's see.
Hilarious. Yeah,
Ryan.
I also like how, and I say this because I too have them, how yellow his teeth are, Dan's teeth. It's like he's a human. He's not trying
Yeah.
to whiten them. He's not trying to bleach them. He's not trying to be anything other than he is. Like, this is his flesh-eating teeth.
All right, so finally found the name. Look up, like, if you guys have Shudder, watch a movie called Glorious. That's the
Have
kind
I
of serial
seen
killer he
this?
is.
I think I might have seen this. That sounds.
It's got
familiar.
Ryan Quanten. He's in a rest area, and it's like a Lovecraftian
I
type of
remember
movie.
that.
Yeah, that's the kind of serial
Oh
killer he
wow!
is.
Okay, it's got the coloring of Mandy.
Yeah.
On the film poster.
Yeah, no, it's it's also of that time. Like, I swear, between 2020 and 2022,
Okay.
like, everything had to be like the purples and
Oh, I've
pinks.
seen this. He was on True Blood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But
my
yeah,
wife and I watched
that's the
this.
kind of serial killer he
This is a good
is.
show.
Like, he's sitting there calling her the whole time. "But I just need to talk to you," and she's dead the whole time. That's probably Dan.
Dude, that's a good call out. That's a good reference. Go watch Glorious if you haven't seen it yet. It's
Yeah,
great.
guys, if you
It's
guys
fun.
have never seen that, it is not disappointing at all. It is probably one of my favorite Ryan Quanten roles.
Yeah.
I won't say favorite, but it's definitely top 3.
Could you name your favorite? Like, I only know him from
yeah.
True Blood.
Yeah, so Knights of Bad Assdom, and then True Blood, and then that.
Okay.
And it's crazy too, because he's a fucking Aussie. And he is the only person in True Blood that has a proper Southern accent. And everybody else is American.
That's really true. He's an Aussie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
Huh. Well,
Yeah.
good on him, because he's much more talented than I give him credit for.
Yeah, no, as soon as you know that, it's like he's already pretty good, but as soon as you know that, it's like, Jesus Christ, he's amazing.
Oh, yeah. I just imagine him dating that hot ass religious girl in True Blood. Yeah.
Yeah, I think about that sometimes too.
I'm gonna enjoy that later. Right. Anything else you want to talk about with this?
No, I think we got it. We covered Glorious, covered True Blood, covered the baking show. I think we're good.
All right. Once we start shifting gears to other films and shows, you know, it's we're done. All right. Well, thank you all so much. Let us know. Did you have a favorite bake of this particular episode? Who do you think is going to be the next to let go, and who's going to win this motherfucker? Curious to know what you think. Thanks so much for tuning in. As always, remember the evil spelled backwards is live, and so is, God damn it, treacle. Treacle spelled backwards is Satan.
Yep, I can confirm.
Saku even made little buttholes in her little profiteroles, so this is a butthole episode.
It straight up was.
Be warned. Dodge Chuck Berry if you see him in a crowd. All right, get out there and be evil, people.
Hell yeah.
Weird ending.
It worked, damn it.
It ended.